Philadelphia 76ers have officially shut down Joel Embiid for the remainder of the season, and it looks like it could be getting a lot worse because it looks like retirement is an actual option here. But without further ado, here's the intro. What's going on, Cliffhangers? We are back with another video. We are still on the road to 5,000 subscribers before the end of 2025. So make sure you hit that like button, you hit that subscribe button down below. I will greatly appreciate it. It tells the YouTube algorithm, tells the robots that you all like this type of content, pushes it out to other people. So I will greatly appreciate it. Get me to 100 likes on this video. Let's get into it. All right. So as we all know, the Sixers have officially shut down Joel Embiid for the remainder of the 2024-2025 NBA season. Not really a shock to a lot of people. This is something that people and fans have been wanting for almost 2 months now. Honestly, since the beginning of the season, since we didn't know what his actual injury was, and we're hearing that the knee couldn't get better, blah, blah, blah. A bunch of stuff were happening, and the Sixers could not win games consistently. So everybody's on board with just tanking, trying to get that top 6 protected pick, making sure it doesn't go to OKC, and see if you can get one of these stud young players from this great NBA draft class. So not really a shock that they have shut him down. The shock that everybody is kind of, I guess, having, I don't even know if it's shock at this point. I guess it's just like more disappointment or just like sadness, feeling bad for Joel. That feeling is coming from the reports afterwards about it doesn't look like his knee can get better. All right, here, right from Shams Charania, the 76ers and Joel Embiid are consulting doctors and considering alternative options on his injured knee, sources tell ESPN. Sides have hope for progress in Embiid's body, but his efforts to play and current treatments, including injections, have not provided any improvement. So they're trying to look at doctors. They're trying to talk to whoever they can just to try to get like a fix for his knee to figure out what they can do so he can get back to his dominant MVP form. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Here's a tweet from Sixers Galaxy. According to those with knowledge of the situation, Embiid is still hoping for some sort of cure-all procedure that would allow him to return to his MVP form. Heading into this week, however, neither the Sixers' own medical staff nor any external doctors consulted throughout the saga had been able to pinpoint a clear-cut pathway to steering Embiid in his desired direction. So again, that tells me whatever happened, whatever procedure it happened that he had last season, and then he came back too early for the Knicks series, then he went on to play in the Olympics. I don't know if the procedure went wrong. I don't know if he just didn't have enough time to rest since he came back early. He also went to go play in the Olympics. I don't know if that hindered anything, which I think probably did. He did not give the knee enough time to rest, but it sounds like this is an issue that's not going away. Like there's no surgery he can have. And if he does have a surgery, it's not like 100% fixed. And I'm even hearing that the surgeries that he could possibly get, I know we talked about the surgeries from that Bucks game that he basically announced, but the surgery that he could get could be more of a radical option, basically from what I was hearing. Like could be a radical option, is not something that they recommend. It could be like there's a certain risk factor with that, which is just terrible, right? So there's no real, the best thing he could do is rest on it. And that's not 100%. Also had someone tell me that basically with his knee, he was supposed to be able to learn how to play with the pain. So it wasn't going to be like this excruciating pain that he couldn't play through. He was just basically going to build up a callus on his knee and be like, all right, well, I've learned how to play with this. Like it was like minimal pain that he was going to have to learn how to play with. But right now, it's been some like extreme pain that he's been dealing with in his knee. So it's that kind of like goes back to that kind of like sheds light on why we never know if he's playing. We don't know if he's going to be ready. He doesn't know if he's playing. He just has no idea. He's like, all right, if the doctor told me I'm going to have to learn to play with pain, he's thinking in his head, okay, well, if this is the pain I'm dealing with, I'm just going to be able to see if I can go. And if I can't, I can't. And then if I can, I can. It's just like he has no idea when to play and when not to play because like he's always hurting. So I guess it's just like a pain threshold that he has to deal with. I don't exactly know. I don't even know if I explain that great, but it's just something that he's just going to have to consistently deal with throughout his career, which brings me to my next point of me personally, this is before I say anything else, me personally, after these reports about like his knee not being able to get better, there's no fix, there's no surgery that would 100% fix it, I think his career is over. as sad as it is, only 30 years old, one of the greatest basketball players ever, one of the greatest talents that could just not get over this injury hill or this injury bug that plagued him for his entire career, I think it's over. He's 7'2". He weighs whatever he weighs. He's always had lower body problems. He has freak injuries that happen to him all the time. And this one seems like the one that's going to keep him out. And the way Joel is going to be remembered is going to be he should be, by people who are realistic, be remembered as one of the greatest talents to ever play the game of basketball, right? So looking at Grant Hill, Penny Hardaway, Brandon Roy, Tracy McGrady, like people like that, he's going to always be remembered in if people are being serious about him. But that's just a fan's take. That's just me talking about Joel, his career, and what I think should happen. Then we got this report earlier. 76ers could petition for a medical retirement for Joel Embiid if he's unable to play a year from now. At that point, an independent doctor selected by the NBA and NBPA would examine Embiid. If agreed he can no longer play, his remaining contract will be wiped off the books for the Sixers. That's coming from Keith Smith of the NBA. Now, that's not exactly like a breaking news report. It kind of sounds like they're just putting the rule out there. But for that to be out there, the knee situation has to be serious, right? We've gone through Joel being injured and all right, we'll just wait till next year. We'll wait till he comes back. But this seems like the end. Like if this type of report is coming out, we're talking about trying to get him, possibly looking into getting him medically retired because he can't play. You can't really save Joel from himself because he wants to play basketball so bad that they're going to try to medically retire him and also try to get the extension off the books and clear up some money. This seems like it's over for Joel Embiid. And you feel bad for him because, like I said, you love watching the guy play. He's one of the greatest talents ever, but he was never able to be healthy when it truly mattered to get this team over the hump. There's also some roster construction things that happened back in the past, not building the right team around him. That's all whatever. But at the end of the day, this is all because he was unable to stay healthy, as sad as it sounds. But this seems like the injury that shuts him down for his career. And the reason I think like I'm not so mad about it, because I honestly think like we've all seen, if you're a Sixers fan, you know, you've essentially grown up with Joel Embiid. Some of us I've grown up with AI, but I've been with Embiid throughout his entire career. You know, at this point in the later stage of his career, he has his son, he has his family, he wants to go be a family man, he wants to stay home, he's an inner body. Like, go be with your family, bro. I would not want Joel Embiid. There was also like a hip replacement. He would have to break his hip, like one of the radical surgeries. He would have to like break his hip in order to alleviate some pressure off his knee. That report that we all saw. But like, if you have to go through something like that and there's no guarantee your knee is going to get better, I would rather him go retire, be with your family when you know you can still walk. You can still play with your son. You can still do fun activities with your family. I wouldn't want him to risk that. Just on a human side, I wouldn't want him to risk that for playing basketball for the Philadelphia 76ers. Like, don't do that, bro. I know like he's still young. He's only 30, but like, I wouldn't want him to, my dog is going crazy upstairs. But go, if in my head, like this is like the end all be all for him, right? This is the one. This is the sign. We all get signs in our life, whether it be from God or whoever you pray to or whatever. We all get signs to either do something or not do it. And it's like, this is the one where it's like, hey, you had a great run, bro, but it's over. Go be with your family. You still have time. Go get whatever surgery you can to get your knee back to, it's 100% for living life, right? Because basketball knee percentage health is different from just living, right? So go get your knee fixed. Go enjoy time. Spend time with your family. You will be a top 2 Sixer forever, talent wise. But just go be with your family. I think it's just time, right? It's time for the Sixers to move on from the Joel Embiid era. it's another sign like it's over. This era is over. You build around, you see Daryl Morey and the front office is starting to bring in a lot more young athletic talent with Quentin Grimes, Lonnie Walker, Jared Butler, like players like that just start this rebuild. If there is a way that they can find Joel to get his knee back to 90% and like there's a guarantee, by all means, bring him back, take one more crack at it. If he gets hurt again, that's when it's like truly, all right, he has to either retire or you have to find a way to trade him. But it sucks, yo. Because like now the Sixers, I've talked about it a lot, like, and I've been on board with it, but the Sixers are not going to be good for a long time. And they're not going to be as bad as they were in the process years, but they're not going to be good. And I say a long time. It's probably going to be like 2 to 3 years because you still have Tyrese Maxey, you have Jared McCain, you might get this draft pick. Like it's going to be an easier rebuild than those process years. But they're going to be bad. And I need people to understand that. This does not end in, oh, they move from Joel Embiid, they're a championship contender. No, everybody has to understand. It's a rebuild. They need to be bad. If you can't sit through that, I understand it. But I need everybody to come to the realization, the Joel Embiid stuff, the era, it gave us some fun moments, but it is over. I personally think he needs to retire, and that's not anything bad coming from it. I just think I want the best for him, and I think that's the best for him and also the Sixers to retire. If the Sixers can find a way to move him, to give him a better opportunity on a team that doesn't exactly need him, and they can rest him throughout the season and then just bring him in for the playoffs and kind of have him play like a third option maybe, or just hold down the fort on defense, I think the Sixers should look into that as well. But for both parties, I think it's best we all just move on and go our separate ways. That's just what I got to say on it, man. It's tough. But let me know in the comments what you guys think down below. Should Joel Embiid retire? Should the Sixers have one more crack at it with him to try to get him healthy? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. I'll let y'all.